Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back. It's Drew Directed It. Doing another video here today, and basically what I'm going to be doing is showing you guys the basics of Davinci Resolve. The reason I'm doing this basically is because when I first started editing, I wanted to do certain edits or certain effects that I didn't know how to do because I was new to editing, and if I knew the basics to any platform, it would have made it definitely a lot better for me in the long run. So I figured today I'll be doing a video showing you guys the basics of Davinci Resolve and showing you guys how to really do it. So here we go. The first thing that I usually do is I'll open up my timeline here. First things I'll usually do is I'll go to the playback, go to the render cache, and I'll turn this to smart. This is one of the first things I do. One of the first things I do well is come down here to the settings and change my timeline resolution to 1920 by 1080. Now most of the time it'll already be on this for you guys because that is native resolution, but for me I have it 1920 by 1080 here, and I usually change the timeline frame rate to about 60 FPS. That's just to make the playback smoother. And actually I lied, I'm going to be changing this to 1650 because I'm going to be using stretch res from Fortnite for the clip. So for me to be 1650 by 1080 processing, I'm going to save that. Now that's going to be different for everyone depending on the res that you're editing in the software. So the next thing that I usually do after that, I'll do the playback and I'll do the timeline. So really the next thing you can do, as you can see for me, it's going to be on stretch res. You can see it's a little blocky in the editor. That's completely fine. It's always going to look different for you guys. So what I like to do is I like to drag the song in, and let's say I'm going to take a listen to it. I'm going to turn this down really quick. Let's say I want to take a listen, and I notice here all my beat drops. So I know the first beat drop is going to be here, right? So what I like to do is I'll turn it down from here just so I can see the beat drop a little better. I'll zoom in to where the actual beat drop is. Now it goes frame by frame, so it may not be like on the exact point, but as long as you can get really close to it, is your best bet. The marker is here. I'll place a marker on it, and the reason I do this is because I know that this is going to be the first bass drop where I want the gun to hit. Now, you can apply pretty much all of this stuff to really any editing, but in today's video I'm going to just be doing Fortnite. So what I like to do is I'll double click the scene at the top left in the media pool, and through here you can pretty much just buffer through and see the clip without actually dragging it onto the timeline. Now like I said, if I knew about this beforehand, it would have saved me a lot of time, especially doing music videos prior to what I was doing. And again, that's the reason I'm making the video here. So I'm just gonna brush through this, find where the actual clip is. So I would assume the clip's towards the end here, so I know the clip's there. I'm gonna use this here. It's just gonna cut this way, then I'm gonna wait to go after the kill. 142, as you can see. I'll wait till after the kill. I'll click here. Now what I also like to do is I like to use the arrow keys, and I'll buffer through where I actually shotgunned him to the first bit of damage, which is 142. Then I'll just click M. That's going to leave a marker on the buffered timeline here. So once you drag this down, you can see I have a marker. So you can literally line this up perfectly, and obviously there's going to be more editing done, but you can see just from here I have a on beat pump damage, which is going to save you a lot of time in the long run. Another thing I want to make known is the use of adjustment clips on all of your timeline or any of your videos or whatever you're using it for. Use your adjustment clip. Now in the beginning I would always add effects that I wanted to use to the actual clip, and I don't really even need to go over the reasons why that's bad, but to save yourself some time, drag an adjustment clip on and you can pretty much add any effect from here that you want to do to it. Now the ones that are here really aren't that fucking cool, but if you have your own, which certain creators let you buy, as you can see that I have here, you can use on adjustment clips. So another thing that I like to make known is after I have this, let's say for some odd reason I wanted to just cut, right? The blade's obviously going to be here, short key is B for the blade. You can come over here and pretty much clip up some of your timeline. Now I'm not actually going to clip up the timeline here, I'm just showing you guys this so you guys know how to use the actual clipping. Now you can always just click here, but I find it easier to just click B and A to go back and forth on that, because I like to do things quick. Also, let's say you made a cut somewhere, boom, 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 you know, I chop this up, I drag this over here, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Control Z is going to be for you to reverse what you've just done. So you see, I click that, and they all go away. Very, very useful for me, especially because in the beginning, myself, I was making a lot of mistakes because I was new to editing, and I was finding myself like redoing edits completely because I did not know how to actually reverse what I did. And I would say it's very common with a lot of people. I've met a lot of people that don't know how to properly use Davinci because it is so complex. You know, you have the media cut tab, edit tab, fusion tab, color tab. No, not a lot of people know how to use these effectively and use them in their edits. Now I'm gonna talk about here specifically. I'm gonna go to the adjustment clip, right? I'm gonna grab an adjustment clip on top, and the reason I did here is because it's where the kill is, and I want to add a screen shake. Now the screen shakes I'm going to be using in this music video, in this video specifically, are not screen shakes that come with Davinci. They're screen shakes that I paid for by myself. But in another video, I will link down at the bottom videos on how to actually get a cool screen shake from the Fusion tab. For me, I don't really use the Fusion tab for screen shakes because I paid bundles here. So what I'm gonna do is this. Obviously, I know this point is the kill. I'll cut it here. We can always adjust that later. That doesn't really matter. And I'll scroll down to here. Now, one of my favorites is Y light or Y medium. So as you can see, I'll drag the Y medium on, and you can see already from the beginning here that the screen shake is there. I'm gonna render this, render the color output as well, and I'm gonna do this one as well, even though there's nothing on. Actually, never mind. I'm not gonna do that. So wait for this to render out. You can see this is already pretty much on point, and this is just like the basics. Obviously, all the screen shakes will have, you know, keyframing done to them, but this video is just specifically for beginners and a tutorial on how to actually just use this all. Now, another thing I want to make known, that all this can be affected in here. It's going to be different for you guys if you do screen effects in the actual Fusion tab. Now, a lot of people do this. I do have certain nodes that I have saved to the computer, which I will throw in here. So any editing I really do here will be different for you guys for the most part, but I'm just showing you guys the general idea of how to do it. And pretty much everything that you can that's useful is going to be over here on the left. Anything as far as zooming in, transforming, cropping is obviously going to be all the way on the right here in the inspector tab. Now, I know sometimes the editors actually launch up without the inspector open, so if you want to get this open, just click the inspector tab. It's going to make the other screen go away, so you can have your inspector tab here. Now, obviously, there's no effects, so there's nothing I can mess with besides the transform, the cropping, zoom, and composite mode. But if I actually go on to the adjustment clip here, you can see that I do have effects, because that's what I threw on, which is the Rumble Pack, which I'll leave linked down at the bottom if you guys do want to buy this. It's from Godsend Mixed Media. Great Davinci Resolve editor. So guys, really everything I've showed you is pretty much the basics. As soon as you learn the basics like I did, making a montage or making a video or whatever you guys are using it for, you guys will notice it's a breeze. I'm going to be dropping more videos soon on Davinci Resolve tutorials, edits, and maybe be making my own pack soon. But this is pretty much the video, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down the bottom. This is one of my first videos, so if you guys have anything to recommend for me, please type it in the bottom. Appreciate you guys for watching this. See ya.